with the final whistle blown between Bordeaux and Toulon, Bordeaux have put themselves into the final with Toulouse. Now, I want to break down the full game between Bordeaux and Toulon. This was a really fiery game, but I want to break it down, give you guys my thoughts, and then also look into what's going to be happening in the top 14 finale. So, before I continue, please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And if you guys do want to grab yourself a free 30-day trial, check the description and yeah, crack on from there. So, let's break it down. Now, I went into this game expecting Bordeaux to come through with a win. You would be stupid to think that Toulon would not be putting up a big fight. Ultimately, the players that they do have at their disposal is scary, right? But the form that Bordeaux has been in, they are a very difficult team to stop. We did have Serine who put in a spectacular performance. Obviously, you have players like Garbisi, who is by no means an easy customer to deal with, but ultimately they just did not have enough to put it to Bordeaux. Bordeaux were just so quick at the ruck. They were so fast off the mark. I mean, when you have a player like Maxime Lucu, and then you have that partnership between Maxime Lucu and Jalibert, it's hard to keep up pace. Jalibert is very much a kind of player that he will happily break down squads in a moment's notice. Yes, he has a little bit of a flight risk at times where sometimes his decision making will often try to lead to him getting glory over bringing other players into the game. But the way that they played, and this is taking consideration, Bordeaux didn't even have BLBA, which is fantastic considering how they played. But when you have players like Damien Penaud, who his try was beautiful, but it was all played off by that pass. That just it was perfectly weighted pass straight to Damien Penaud. And obviously he is him, and there's no two ways. He's not finishing that. So yeah, there were big performances. Obviously, Mofana played well. Di Portere was he was such a monster today. He caused an absolute nuisance to that Toulon defensive line, and was it bagging himself a try in the 19th minute. The guy was absolutely phenomenal. But honestly, I got to give it to Lamotte. Brilliant. Like, you look at him, some of the runs that he made, I was genuinely happy when I saw him, breaking those lines. Honestly, the tries that he was scoring, you would expect tries like this from from like a winger, or maybe even like a center. Like, this is something you could see Mofana doing quite easily. But yeah, Lamoth. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this guy's name horrible. That's just what I see. Um, but yeah, he had a game tonight. He put in big tackles. He broke the defensive line like with butter sometimes. It was ridiculous. He was just finding himself in those good places, and it was lovely to see, to see that happen. Because normally when you talk about forwards, you don't often tend to talk about them scoring like multiple tries during the game, unless you are Dan Sheehan. Um, but he had a brilliant game today. He had 3 tries. I think it was 27 minutes, 45th minute, and 55th minute. So absolutely brilliant. Back onto Jalibert. Jalibert's kicking was on fire, bagging himself 2 penalties, converting pretty much all the tries. And yeah, Bordeaux had solid control of the game. Like I say, their ruck game is so good. They are so strong off the mark as well. And they kind of just dominated. Toulon did enough to keep themselves relevant, to keep themselves in the game, but ultimately it was too little, too late. Um, they were just, I don't know how to explain it. Their flow was just there. They controlled the game throughout the entire game. I mean, we break down the stats. So in terms of dominance, right? So they had 53% possession. They had 55% territory, 8 turnovers won. And then 2 penalty goals, 4 conversions, 5 tries. Brilliant. That's kind of what you want. And then you have points, which you don't often tend to see that often. Maxime Lamotte with 15 points, 3 tries. Maxime Lucu with 71 successful passes. But saying all of this about Bordeaux, yes, they made use of the ball, but that's not to say Toulon did not play brilliantly. They had some serious players that put in big shifts. Like you look at Melvin Jaminet, the guy was phenomenal as well, going through with 2 line breaks too. You have Esteban Abadi, 2 turnovers, 1. You then have players like Teddy Baubigny, 13 tackles completed. Uh, Giuta Wainicolo, 6 defenders beaten. So ultimately, they played well. They played well. It's just Bordeaux managed to dominate consistently through the game, whereas Toulon had sparks of brilliance, which put them through. It was that consistency. It was that defensive line, which was very hard to break. And this is something I feel Toulouse are going to have a very difficult time breaking down as well. And they were consistent throughout the game. They kept their pace. Their passing play was brilliant. Their kicking play was brilliant. Jalibert is able to unlock any defense as he pleases, which we saw at moments. And the forwards just put in a forward shift, right? The backs put on so much pressure on them that, like I say, it was just difficult to maintain. When you look at the backs for France, you have Bourse, Damien Penaud, Di Portere, Mofana, Uberti, Jalibert, and Lucu. Elite level players. Was I expecting Toulon to come through with a win? No. Is it possible? Any team is capable of beating any team. And to get into the top 4, that is no joke. So obviously you are playing at an elite level, right? Because, you look at the players that they have, like your Balbini, Sinclair, Ribbons, Isa Abadi, Paolo Garbisi, Serine. I always get this guy's name incorrect, and I want to grab his actual name to try and pronounce it. So please do slap me if I am wrong, because I can never ever get this guy's name. Hold on, where is it? Fainga Anuku? Fainga Anuku. He's brilliant. Like, he is fire. Bordeaux played better as a team, in my opinion. I might be wrong. You guys might have something else to say, but this is a classic Bordeaux performance. Pressure, very big pressure, consistently throughout the game, forcing errors, forcing all of those unnecessary mistakes on them, and then poof, what ends up happening? It is what it is. Bordeaux, they were so good defensively. We look at the rucks. So 73 rucks won to Toulon 69. Yes, Toulon were a little bit faster at the ruck, but again, it comes down to what was done with it, right? We look at the scrums. So where Toulon had 9 to Bordeaux's 8. They both had 100% scrum win percentage. But when you look at the lineouts, right, Bordeaux won 93% of their lineouts, where Toulon only won 77%. And then you look at what was done with the ball after the lineout. It's just one of those things. They both played well. They both played really well. But Bordeaux's kicking game is very hard to contain. Very hard to contain. So I think this is gonna then open up into the finals with Toulouse, where both teams are excellent at kicking. Now, I'm going to be making a video previewing that game, but we've got to give props to Toulon. Toulon are serious, serious ballers, and I cannot wait to see what's going to happen next year. So, top 14 is a long, grueling tournament that is by no means an easy task. You can put Toulon up against pretty much any other English team or team in the URC, and you know that they're going to be giving them absolute hell. So that just speaks to the quality of these teams. And on top of everything, Bordeaux, they going heavy. They want to win the top 14. How nice would it be to not only get the top 14 title, but also to get the Champions Cup? That would send a clear message to everybody. Do not, don't sleep on us. Do not sleep on us, because we'll show you exactly what we're made of. And they got world beaters in their team. So let me know what your thoughts are. Who was your man of the match? What was your favorite try? And let's look forward to Bordeaux, Toulouse. Catch you guys later.